What is going on? Let's see. It is late afternoon. I guess if you're out there in the streets right now, it is protest time. What I find very interesting also about the protests that's going across America right now is that okay, there's people that are protesting in the morning and afternoon, and then they go into the night, and then there are people that work a full day, a full shift, and then go protest. I just don't see, or I'm like, where do people get the time? that's that's kind of hard. I don't know. Because like to protest during the day, like I saw this in a lot of comments on a lot of the streams. They're like, don't these people work? I don't know. I just thought it was very interesting. I just never, I never found the time to protest. That's what it is. I know when I was in college, yeah, it was around college time. The big protest that was going on during that time was the Wall Street movement. If you guys remember that, that was a big one. But I guess this is the big one for this time. So it feels like every few years there's a big protest. Oh, but yeah, where where do these people? Don't they have jobs? I don't know. This is so weird. I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting comment. Uh, they're like, oh, I thought they had lots of jobs. I don't know. Okay, what else is going on? Quick Diddy update. I mean, literally at this point, if you guys have been following along with the Diddy case at all, I think we're on day 20. I can, at this point, we've gotten many witnesses, at least the victim witnesses, and I feel like I can summarize all the testimonies in just a couple of sentences. Uh, it's literally so far this current witness. I mean, same thing with Cassie. She was the first big witness. Has been 50 Shades of Grey kind of level. Like, you know, it would be very interesting if they brought 50 Shades of Grey back today. I think they should remake 50 Shades of Grey, but replace the is his name Dorian? I don't know the main character's name, but if they remake 50 Shades of Grey and replace the main character with Diddy, it would be almost exactly the same movie so far. From what I've seen, from following along with the court updates and whatnot, and the testimonies that are going out, it feels almost like it's the same story as 50 Shades of Grey, where he's rich guy. She gets attracted to his like money and power, and he pushes her to do things that she never thought that she would be doing. Um, I don't know. It feels like they could make like 50 Shades of Black or something and have Diddy be the main character, and it would be exactly the same movie. Oh, so yeah, that's basically well, the summary I'm getting so far from the Diddy testimonies. It's like he's likes something very kinky. She's not really into it, but they have to do it because they need the money. That's literally uh, the most current one is the most blatant version of that story, because it came out today during Cross that Diddy is paying for her lawyer. What? That's insane. Imagine. And he's still paying for her where she's living now, and it's $10,000 a month. So he's paying for her lawyer against him, and he's still paying for where she lives, but she's testifying against him. Okay, so that's your Diddy update for today, I guess. I I keep talking about the protests and the parade because that's what's on the news right now. So that's it. I mean, we can talk about. I thought I think this is also very interesting. Um, there was a trade deal reached today with China. You know what's also very interesting about the protests is that it literally shifts the news away from everything. Nobody is talking about how Trump stumbled on those stairs. And when I saw that, I was thinking to myself, you know what's interesting is that Biden stumbled on some stairs as well. And I know that was a big, like, they were making fun of Biden for that. But Trump stumbled on some stairs. And it got me thinking, those stairs, did anybody check where those stairs were made? Are they made in China? Because now it seems like we have two presidents back to back stumbling on some stairs. Is that their move to take out POTUS? What do you guys think? Because what are the chances that we have two presidents stumbling on stairs back to back? When I was growing up, that never happened. And now we got back to back presidents stumbling on some stairs? Suspicious. Suspicious. I'm telling you, they say China makes everything. There's a chance they made those stairs special to, you know. I don't know. What else? The other thing that I want to bring up is I've been watching a lot of the protests streams, right? And I've talked about this quite a bit. But what I find very interesting is the flags. It has become a big talking point. The flags. It is kind of crazy. I understand the Mexican flag, and I understand the American flag, and I understand the American flag. I think it's flipped upside down. It means like the America's under distress. You know, everything is backwards. I understand that, but I don't understand during these protests they're having the Hamas flags. Like that, I don't like because it has nothing to do with anything. You know what I mean? Those people, the people that are bringing the Hamas flags to to these protests, those guys need to be examined because that has nothing to do with anything, at least what these protests are about. I mean, I'm pretty sure in a roundabout way you can link the things together, but you got to do some like separation, linking to get the flags situation together. I understand the Mexican flag. They're like, there are a lot of them. They're Hispanic, and you know they're getting kicked out, and they're like, oh, Mexico, Viva la Mexico, you know. And I understand the American flags because you know we're Americans. This is America. But the Hamas flags during these protests, those people need to go because they're just jumping on to a topic that it almost feels like they're not getting attention anymore because this is taking precedent. You know, like it feels like same thing with the wars. You know, like I wonder if Ukraine is feeling a little uneasy right now because our news cycle is no longer talking about Ukraine. We have moved on from talking about Ukraine. No one cares anymore. No one cares about the Gaza situation right now. You know, we're having unrest in America, and I wonder if they're just like piling in the flags, like, "Hey, remember us? Don't forget about us." And then, yeah, but yeah, I don't like those seeing the other random flags. Like I said, I understand the Mexican flag and I understand the American flag being at these rallies and protests. The Hamas flag or Ukrainian flag, no, no, they're just desperate for attention because it seems like we're like, oh, you guys are forgetting about us. Don't forget about us. We're still here because no one's talking about them anymore. Moved on. Moving on, guys. We moved on. What else? Today, I saw that Delaware is #1 in the US for tipping. And I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know how I feel about Delaware, because the only thing I know about Delaware is they are known to be the shell company state. Like, people just open companies in Delaware for the hell of it to do some tax loopholes. That's the only thing I know about Delaware. If anyone knows anything else interesting about Delaware, let me know. But that's the only thing I know. They're the best at tax loopholes. They're the tax loophole state for businesses. And then I see this stat that they are number one in tipping. And it's a very random thing to be number one. They on average they tip, it said about 22-23%. And then it said California is last. California is last place in tipping at 17%. And then I was thinking to myself that I remember when tipping was 10%. And I guess I've been out of touch, and because I don't eat out a lot. I do a lot of my own cooking, so I don't eat out a lot to do a lot of tipping. When did it become 30%? I'm so lost, because when I was growing up, I remember it being just 10%. Like, you just take the bill and you just do 10%, and that was that. That was it. And I thought that was a lot back then. And then it became 20%. And then now I saw somewhere it was like you take the bill, you move a penny, and then you times it by 3, and which is 30%. And I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. I didn't know when tipping became 30%. Insane, insane, insane. At some point, I feel like they should just tack that onto the bill. I don't know. Like, raise the prices of the foods at the restaurants and then divide the money with the servers. I don't know. It just feels weird. All right, my phone's heating up. It's hot. All right, see you guys later.